ओके आपको चैप्टर नंबर 1 में जो इंट्रोडक्शन टू डायरेक्ट टेक्स्ट था, see if you guys have any doubt, please let me know. And in the Google Classroom, I'm going to share the link of chapter number 1 of your lecture recording. If you want to listen it, I mean, if you want to again revise that chapter, you can click that link. All the videos of chapter number 1 will be there. Otherwise, the second option is, I mean, that is the best option. You subscribe to my channel. Always, every day, I upload my lectures, lecture recording there directly. So you can visit that directly, and without even asking for a link, you can just click on that playlist button and you can see the chapter wise recordings are there. So only chapter number 1 has been done till now. Therefore chapter number 1 will be there in the playlist. आपके क्लास का, ठीक है? तो आपके क्लास का ही आज से आप हम लोग सेकंड चैप्टर शुरू करें तो सेकंड चैप्टर भी आपको दिखेगा उसमें, ठीक है? तो आप उसमें से रेफर कर सकते हैं डायरेक्टली. बट वेरएस जिनके पास नहीं है, जो नहीं जानते हैं वो की रिकॉर्डिंग्स कहाँ हैं, तो मैं वो लिंक भेजूंगी क्लासरूम में, ठीक है? अभी क्योंकि चैप्टर नंबर 1 पूरा हो गया तो अब मैं आपको उसकी लिंक गूगल क्लासरूम पे शेयर करूंगी. सो चैप्टर वाइज आई एम गोइंग टू शेयर एवरी डे. हर एक दिन की लिंक अगर आपको चाहिए तो सीधा आप चैनल पे जाके देख सकते हैं. उस पर मैं रिपीट कर रही हूँ, प्लेलिस्ट में जाकर आप अपने चैप्टर को ढूंढेंगे. इंट्रोडक्शन टू डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस, दिस इज चैप्टर नंबर 1. सो प्लेलिस्ट में वो चैप्टर दिख रहा है, उसको क्लिक करेंगे तो उसके अंदर सारे वीडियोस हैं चैप्टर नंबर 1 से रिलेटेड, ठीक है? इज इट ओके?
यस मैम.
आप में से बहुत जनों ने किया है, मैंने देखा सब्सक्राइब, बट काफी जनों ने नहीं किया है तो उनको मैं गूगल क्लासरूम पे दे दूंगी. So let's start with the next chapter. It is residential status and scope of total income. Now, section 6 talks about residential status and section 5 talks about scope of total income. Now, what do you mean by residential status? Let's leave apart the portion of scope of total income. We will cover it later. But there are two different chapters, okay? Residential status is different, scope of total is different. But they are intermingled with each other. Unless you understand what is residential status, you will not be able to uh, understand scope of total income. Okay, so let's first start with residential status. So what do you mean by residential status? You have any idea about it? Can anybody share me what do you mean by residential status? Yes? Okay, I'll tell you. Residential.
Standard of living.
No, not standard of living. No. It is not related to standard of living. No. Residential status is the term coined under income tax and has nothing to do with nationality or domicile of a person. See, suppose if I say, leave apart this meaning, I would explain you into a very simple way, and then I would like to read these lines. Suppose I live in India. Where do I live? I live in India. I reside in India.
India.
Therefore, I am resident of India. My nationality, my origin is from America. My father was from America, but I live in India. Maybe it is possible, yes. Therefore, I am resident in India. Although a person has come in India, but he is an American citizen. Okay, he is basically from America, but since childhood, he is living here in India. Therefore, he is resident in India. आ रहा है समझ में आपको रेसिडेंट का मतलब क्या होता है? So residential status will help you understand where person and for how many days a person reside, and because of that you will be able to understand the residential status of a person. Status means, see, status means आप resident हो कि नहीं हो. Resident का मतलब क्या होता है? जहाँ पे आप रहते हो. साहि से क्या नाम है बेटा आपका? साहिल नाम है ना. The term residential status has been coined under income tax laws of India and must not be confused with individual citizenship in India. Very good, very good. अच्छा है, आपने सही बोला है, बट वो इनकम्प्लीट है. मतलब रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस आपको क्या बताता है? कोई भी रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस, जब हम किसी भी रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस की बात करते हैं ना, वो ये बताता है कि सिटीजनशिप के बारे में नहीं बताते आपको, बट ये बताता है कि आपने कहाँ आप रहते हो और कितने नंबर ऑफ डेज किस कंट्री में स्पेंड करते हो. अभी आप बोलोगे मैम कोई भी ऐसे थोड़ी होगा दो कंट्री में एक टाइम पे एक साथ रहेगा. नहीं, ऐसे नहीं. बट मैं किस सेंस में बात कर रही हूँ, अगर मैं बोलूँ आपको कि आप ना बहुत बड़े क्रिकेटर हो, ठीक है, तो कभी वो इंडिया में प्ले कर सकता है, कभी वो ऑस्ट्रेलिया में जा सकता है खेलने के लिए. उसका काम ही है ना, वर्ल्ड टूर पे जाना और क्रिकेट खेलना, है ना. हर जगह जगह जाके वो क्रिकेट खेलता है जब एक क्रिकेटर. तो उसका जो इंडिया में जो नंबर ऑफ डेज हैं, सपोज इंडिया में नंबर ऑफ डेज हैं वो थोड़े से हैं, थोड़े से ऑस्ट्रेलिया में नंबर ऑफ डेज हैं, वो थोड़े से नंबर ऑफ डेज के लिए वो यूएस चला गया, कुछ नंबर ऑफ डेज के लिए वो पाकिस्तान चला गया, लाइक दैट वे. समझ आ रहा है आपको? तो रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस पहचानने के लिए किसी पर्सन का, पहले आपको ये तो समझना है कि रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस होता क्या है. So residential status of a person depends on the territorial connections of the person within this country. Means where you live and for how many days he is physically present in that particular country. With the help of that particular concept, which is known as residential status, we will be able to understand for which country he is resident, for which country he is non-resident. Because a person cannot be resident for two different countries. I mean, he can be. क्योंकि अगर कुछ नंबर ऑफ डेज के लिए जो हमारे लॉज में लिखा हुआ है, अगर वो लॉज को फुलफिल करता है, ठीक है, अगर वो लॉज में आता है, वो लॉज को फुलफिल किया, उसने रूल्स को फुलफिल किया, तो वो इंडिया के हिसाब से भी रेसिडेंट हो गया. अगर वो काफी टाइम के लिए आउट ऑफ इंडिया में रहता है, तो उनके लॉस के हिसाब से उतने नंबर ऑफ डेज वो फुलफिल करता है, तो वो वहां के लिए भी रेसिडेंट बन जाएगा. ठीक है, पर वो रूल्स एंड लॉस को एप्लीकेबल करना चाहिए. ठीक है, मतलब वो फुलफिल करना चाहिए. तो रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस ऑफ डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ पर्सन इज डिटरमाइंड डिफरेंटली. अब अलग अलग लोग होते हैं, अलग अलग लोगों का अलग अलग स्टेटस अलग अलग तरीके से डिटरमाइन किया जाता है. Similarly, the residential status of SSC is to be determined each year with reference to previous year. If you want to understand, if you want to determine, if you want to examine the residential status of an SSC, of a particular person who is an SSC, you have to check his previous year. You have to see how many number of days he was present in India in the previous year. And with the help of that process, you will be able to understand whether he was resident in India or non-resident in India. Therefore, we call the person non-resident. NR, non-resident, resident. So how we call a person as resident and non-resident? With the help of residential status. And that is a process to calculate. It is not calculated overnight, and it is not to be calculated just by closing your eyes and you can imagine and then no. You have to calculate it sequence wise. There is a step, there is a procedure, there is a rule to determine. Okay, with the help of that rule, if he fulfills that rule, yes, he will be a resident. If he does not fulfill that particular rule, which is stated under the section number 6, subsection 1, which I will be giving you now, he will be called as non-resident. Very simple. So the residential status of an SSC may change from year to year. Yes, maybe in 2018 and 19 he was resident, but maybe in 2019 and 20 he may stand as non-resident. Yes, that is quite possible. Every year he cannot be resident. No, it is not compulsory. A businessman who has a business in India and in US also. So maybe in a year he lives more and more in India. Majority of days he lives in India. Therefore he has to be a resident in India, right? But if in the next year he has to go to look after to a business which is in US, so most of the days in the year he spends in US. He was hardly any days present in India. Therefore he will be resident to US country, not it to India. For India he will be non-resident. Are you getting an example? So from year to year his residential status may change. It can change, yes. What is essential is status during the previous year, not assessment year. Important क्या है? What is important is what is the status in previous year, not now. What is going on? नहीं, अभी नहीं. Not in assessment year, but in previous year. You have to check his previous year. Okay. Shubham, beta, you have raised your hand. Any doubt?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am,
Tell me.
can person can hold the two citizenship of country?
देखो सिटीजनशिप की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं हम बेटा, रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस की
Resident.
बात कर रहे हैं हम. तो सिटीजनशिप से कंफ्यूज नहीं होने आपने. ठीक है, सिटीजनशिप तो होल्ड नहीं
Okay,
कर
ma'am.
पाएंगे ना आप, एक ही कंट्री के सिटीजन बन पाएंगे ना. लेकिन
Yes,
हम
ma'am.
सिटीजनशिप की बात नहीं करें, हम बात करें रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस की. कि आपने वो पर्टिकुलर नंबर ऑफ डेज को फुलफिल किया जो रूल में लिखे हुए हैं. अगर वो नंबर ऑफ डेज को फुलफिल कर दिया, आप इंडिया में प्रेजेंट हैं, तो आपका वो बताता है कि आप इंडिया में रेसिडेंट होंगे. रेसिडेंट होंगे
Okay,
तो
ma'am.
आपके ऊपर वो इनकम टैक्स के लॉज है ना एप्लीकेबल होंगे. तो आपकी इनकम एसेस की जाएगी. आपकी इनकम एसेस की जाएगी मतलब आपके ऊपर चेक रखा जाएगा कि आपकी इनकम 2,50,000 से अगर ऊपर जाती है तो आप टैक्स के दायरे में आ जाएंगे, है ना. टैक्स के दायरे में आ
Yes, ma'am.
जाएंगे तो आपने देखना है कि आपने कितनी टैक्स भरनी है. तो टैक्स भरने के लिए आपको ये देखना पड़ेगा बंदा पहले रेसिडेंट है कि नहीं है. ठीक है ना.
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ जी. तो सिटीजनशिप की हम बात ही नहीं कर रहे हैं, बिल्कुल अलग बातें हैं ये दोनों. ठीक है, कंफ्यूज नहीं होना इन दोनों कॉन्सेप्ट के बीच में. आप में से किसी ने चैट बॉक्स में बड़ा ब्यूटीफुल आंसर दिया था कि हमको कंफ्यूज नहीं होना है. चैट बॉक्स में किसी ने तो भी लिखा था, आई डोंट रिमेम्बर हिज और हर नेम, बट उन्होंने लिखा है रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस को सिटीजनशिप के साथ कंफ्यूज नहीं करना. देखो यहाँ
मैम
पे भी लिखा
सहल
हुआ
ने
है.
लिखा है.
हाँ. तो
सहल ने लिखा है मैम.
हाँ सेल ने लिखा है ना, वेरी गुड. यहाँ पे भी लिखा हुआ है, देखो सेकंड पॉइंट पे. देखो अब ना यहाँ पे क्या लिखा हुआ है, इनकम टैक्स एक्ट हैज गॉट नथिंग टू डू विथ नेशनैलिटी और डोमिसाइल. सिटीजनशिप नेशनैलिटी से आपको कोई लेना देना नहीं है. एन इंडियन सिटीजन हु इज सिटीजन ऑफ इंडिया कैन बी नॉन रेसिडेंट, जबकि वो सिटीजन है इंडिया का बट वो नॉन रेसिडेंट भी हो सकते हैं. तो देखो कोई लेना देना है. शुभम बेटा समझ आया, कोई लेना देना नहीं
Yes,
है.
ma'am. नहीं है.
हाँ.
हाँ.
हाँ, कोई एक अमेरिकन सिटीजन भी है लेकिन वो इंडिया में रेसिडेंट हो सकता है. हाँ हो सकता है, अगर उसने वो रूल को फुलफिल कर दिया जो रूल अभी मैं आपको सिखाने वाली हूँ.
Okay.
आई बात समझ. तो सिटीजनशिप से मेरा कोई लेना देना नहीं है. ओके, आगे बढ़ते हैं. मीनिंग ऑफ रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस में आगे कुछ एक और पॉइंट ये दी हुई है, वो भी मैं बता दूं. इट इज इम्पॉर्टेंट फॉर इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट टू डिटरमाइन, जो अभी मैंने बात बोली ना, just now what I said is written here. For income tax department, it is crucial, it is very important to determine the residential status, because after, only after determining residential status, you will be able to understand, an officer will be able to understand whether an individual is supposed to pay the tax or not, his income is accessible or not. First of all, whether his income is accessible. If his income is accessible, only then we will be getting a final decision that he is going to pay tax or he is not going to pay tax. Are you getting my example? So हमको पहला स्टेप क्या होता है, रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस पहचानने का. जब तक आपने रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस नहीं पहचाना, until you determine the residential status of a person, how will you be able to understand that person is going to pay tax or not? That is the second, third, fourth step. But the first step is to determine the residential status. Okay, it becomes particularly relevant during the tax filing season because you want to file the tax returns, and therefore you need to understand first whether that particular person who has to file the returns, tax returns, is a resident in India. First, you have to determine his residential status. In fact, this is one of the factors based on which a person's taxability is decided. That's what I said. Based on the residential status, you will determine the taxability of a person. Based on the residential status. Okay, so let us explore more about it. Also, note the residential status of different types of persons, individual, firm. I told you, person is not only confined to an individual or a human being or you, me, hum. Okay, it is not confined. That definition is not confined to that particular level of what we call as an individual or human being. No, it is an inclusive type of definition. We have already covered that. A firm is also known as person. A company is also known as person. Artificial person. HUF is also known as person. Local authority is also a person. Association of person and body of individual, AOP, BOI. You remember? Artificial judicial person. All these are covered in the ambit of the definition of person. Okay, are you understanding? So residential state for
Yes, ma'am.
a person to conclude that whether he is a resident or not, there are different types of persons. No? So there are different residential status for different types of persons. For individual, there is a different status. For a firm, there is a different status. For a company, there is a different status. Okay, and the process is determined differently. If you say in the rule of individual, the rule of determining residential status of individual will be same for determining the process for the firm. No, it will not be same. Okay, the process of determining residential status of that of individual will be different from that of firm and a company and a Hindu undivided family and so on. Are you getting my point? सो इन मतलब हम लोगों ने यहाँ पे सबसे ज्यादा क्या फोकस किया है, हमारे प्रीवियस ईयर में इंडिविजुअल का रेसिडेंशियल नंबर ऑफ डेज कितने हैं, उस हिसाब से हमको पता चल जाएगा रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस. सो जनरल, व्हाट आर द जनरल रूल्स टू डिटरमाइन रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस? So first of all, there are general rules that we need to understand about residential status. Citizenship and residential status are separate. They should not be coined together. They should not be misunderstood as they are one. No, they are different from each other. Okay. The second general rule is determined on the basis of residence of the previous year. PY, previous year. Now you have to determine any person's residential status. If you want to determine that, you need to check his status, his number of days present in India according to the previous year, of the previous year, not of the assessment year. Very important point. Note down. Very important point. You have to check his previous year, not his assessment year, for determining residential status. Now status will vary from year to year. One previous year, maybe for one previous year he was resident, maybe for another previous year he is non-resident. Yes, it can happen that way. Stay at one place. SSC may have different places of residence in same previous year. Yes, he in the same previous year he may live in US. He in the same previous year he can come back to India and live in India as well. Are you getting that example? Stay at one place means आप किसी एक जगह पे हो, समझो US में हो, Suppose you are living in US. So after 6 months, you coming back to India, and for rest of the 6 months you live in India. Is that possible? Yes, it is possible. Stay in India continuously or frequency. Example, maybe in January for few days you were in India, and then maybe for February you went to US, and then you came back in March, and then for 2 months you went to Australia, and then for 1 month again you came to India. You are coming back to your home for 1 month, and then again going back for 3 months to any other country, suppose to Europe. Is it possible? Yes. Yes, it will be
Yes,
considered
ma'am.
here. So stay in India maybe continuously. All throughout a year, you may stay in India for all 12 months. But that is not compulsory you stay in India for all 12 months regularly, compulsorily and continuously. No, it is not it is not compulsory. Yes, you may stay in India for few number of days, and then for a few number of days you are going out of India, and then coming back to India, again going out of India. It is possible. वही लिखा हुआ है देखो, मे बी इन एंड आउट ऑफ इंडिया एनी नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स, एनी नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स. आप एक पर्टिकुलर प्रीवियस ईयर में, it is dependent on you, it is over you, for how many number of days you are traveling and going back and coming back to India. Types of accommodation for stay is immaterial. कि आप यहाँ पे रहने के लिए क्यों, टाइप क्या है आपका, विजिट करने आए हैं या फिर वो इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं है. टाइप ऑफ एकोमोडेशन इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं कि आप कहाँ रह रहे हैं, अपने घर पे रह रहे हैं, होटल में स्टे कर रहे हैं, वो इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं है. किसी रिलेटिव के घर रह रहे हैं कि रेंटल घर पे रह रहे हैं, या अपना घर खरीद के रह रहे हैं, आपका ऑलरेडी वहां पे घर है, फार्म हाउस है, दैट इज इममटेरियल. Immaterial means not important. Type of accommodation is not important. Okay. Day of arrival in India as well as day of departure shall be counted as stay in India. It is very important. Very, very important. When you arrived in India that day, and when you are departing from India, when you are leaving India, shall be counted as, these number of days shall be counted as stay in India. Suppose you arrived in India on 1st January and you are departing from India on 28th January. So for how many days you stayed in India?
28.
Yes.
Sorry,
So first,
27.
no, 28.
20.
This is what is written here in the point. Day of arrival has to be counted. Number one. 1st January has to be counted. You don't have to count from 2nd January. You arrived in India on 1st January. So you have to take that day in that consideration. You have to take first day also in the consideration to calculate stay in India. So how many days you stay in India? First day, January 1st, you have to count. In between, you were in India, of course. And the last day, 28th January, when you departed from India, also has to be considered while calculating stay in India. So how many number of days you were present? 28 days you were present in India. You stayed in India. And person should be of Indian origin. You have to determine whether a person is of Indian origin or not. To those persons who are of Indian origin, there are some benefits given to them. What are the benefits? We will learn gradually. I will come to the next slides. Slowly and gradually we will cover everything. But general rules में आपको ये भी बताया गया है कि you need to determine person of Indian origin, whether a person belongs to Indian origin. Now, what do you mean by Indian origin? We will be coming to this point little later. Okay, but I'm telling you, for as of now you have to understand that these are the general rules. These are the points that you have to keep in mind while calculating residential status. Okay, have I shared you this PPT content through Google Classroom?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay, I'll do it after the, before the evening I will do it to you. ठीक
Okay,
है?
ma'am.
With that particular link. Those who do not have, I will share that link of chapter number 1 there are videos of lecture recordings of chapter number 1, so you all can refer that. Okay, and you all can revise that. Now let me come to the next part, which is classification of residential status. Residential status is classified into two types. Whenever you want to determine a person's residential status, either he can be called as a resident or he can be called as a non-resident. See, a person can have two different categories. A person residential status can have two different categories, only two. Either he will be known as resident or he will be non-resident. If a person is resident, cannot be non-resident at the same time, in the same year. If a person in the previous year, in a particular previous year, is non-resident, if I've determined that person as non-resident, I cannot say he is resident also. No. Any one status he can take. Either he can choose to be resident or he can be non-resident. If the given conditions in section number 6 are satisfied by an individual, he is said to be resident. But if he fails to fulfill the conditions, then he would be called as non-resident. Very simple. Ma'am, how we will be able to calculate, how we will be able to determine whether person is resident or non-resident? It is very simple. Apply the rules and the conditions of section 6. Apply the rules of conditions stated in section 6. If those given conditions are fulfilled by that particular person for whom you are applying this procedure of determining the residential status, and that particular person fulfills the rules of the conditions of section 6, he will be called as resident. If he does not fulfill any of the, like even one of the condition, he will be non-resident. He does not fulfill the condition, non-resident. Fulfills the condition, resident. Is that okay with you all? Yes? Should I
Yes,
move
ma'am.
for? Okay. Should I move
Yes,
ahead?
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
okay. Classification of non-resident, as I told you, sorry, classification of non-resident. Okay. There is a big mistake. Sorry, it should be this way. It should be this way. Sorry for that. Okay. Now, if I say classification of residential status, there are two status, resident and non-resident. How to determine that? Apply the rules of section number 6. Section 6. If you have successfully fulfilled the conditions of section 6, you are resident. If you does not fulfill the rules of section 6, you are non-resident. Okay. But once you understand a person is non-resident, that's it, full stop. He is non-resident. No further classification after non-resident. Non-resident के बाद full stop. There is a full stop after non-resident. There is no further classification. If he is non-resident, non-resident. That's it, simple. But if you have determined the residential status of a particular person as being resident, then you have a further classification. Further classification में क्या है? Resident is again divided into two parts. Resident and ordinarily resident. Second, resident but not an ordinarily resident. In short, we call it as R and OR. Resident and ordinary resident. ROR. And the second one is called as R but NOR. N not O, ordinarily, R resident. So it is called as resident and ordinary resident, R and OR. Resident but not an ordinary resident, R but NOR. Okay. What is the difference between these two, ma'am? We will be clearing it. Don't worry. आगे ये point आएगा जिसमें आपको दोनों के बीच में differentiation समझ में आएगा. ठीक है, ग्रेजुअली हम लोग सब धीरे धीरे समझेंगे। देखो, रेसिडेंशियल एंड स्कोप ऑफ टोटल इनकम। अब ये जो एक मिनट है, ओके, ये जो चार्ट दिया हुआ है ना, इसमें ना आपके दोनों चैप्टर्स कवर हो रहे हैं। देखो चार्ट में ना आपको ओवरव्यू बताया हुआ है। अब हम पूरा चार्ट तो नहीं करेंगे, क्योंकि इसमें स्कोप ऑफ टोटल इनकम जो दिया हुआ है ना, वो अभी हम नहीं करेंगे, क्योंकि अभी मैंने आपको शुरू ही नहीं कराई है, एक अलग बिल्कुल चैप्टर है। बट इसमें रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस के तीनों पार्ट्स लिए जाते हैं। मैम अभी तो आपने बोला रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस के 2 पार्ट्स होते हैं, पर रेसिडेंट होने के बाद तो 2 हो जाते हैं ना, रेसिडेंट एंड ऑर्डिनरी। रेसिडेंट बट नॉट इन ऑर्डिनरी 2 हुए, और तीसरा हुआ आपका नॉन रेसिडेंट। ठीक है, सो पर्सन कैन बी डिवाइडेड इनटू 3 डिफरेंट स्टेटस। रेसिडेंट होगा तो 2 पार्ट्स हो जाएंगे ना। After determining the person as being resident, there are again 2 parts. So person can be resident in ordinarily, or person can be resident but not in ordinarily, or third he can be a non-resident. So scope of total income, we will cover it afterwards. Now let's see the left hand side of the chart, residential status, section 6. Now for individual and HUF, yes, we will cover it. For your syllabus, it is only for individuals. For your syllabus, it is only for individuals. You don't have to apply it for Hindu undivided family, company, firm, HUF, LOP, BOI, AOP, BOI, no. Partnership firm, no. You don't have to do it. उनका भी रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस कैलकुलेट होता है, पर उनका मेथड अलग होता है। ओके, कंपनी ऑल्सो कैन बी नोन एज रेसिडेंट एंड नॉन रेसिडेंट। ओके, बट उनका मेथड अलग होता है। ठीक है ना। अब हम कर रहे हैं इंडिविजुअल का। तो इंडिविजुअल का जो सिस्टम होता है, रेसिडेंट अगर बन गए, वो कोई भी इंडिविजुअल अगर रेसिडेंट होता है तो उसमें 2 पार्ट्स होते हैं, रेसिडेंट एंड ऑर्डिनरीली रेसिडेंट, रेसिडेंट बट नॉट एन ऑर्डिनरीली रेसिडेंट। अगर वो रेसिडेंट नहीं है तो वो नॉन रेसिडेंट है, और उसकी कोई फर्दर क्लासिफिकेशन नहीं है। ये वाला साइड देखो आप, ये वाला कर्सर को देखो मेरी। ठीक है, समझ आ रहा है आपको? हमने ये कवर करना है इस चैप्टर में। नेक्स्ट
Yes, ma'am.
चैप्टर में हम लोग ये पूरा राइट हैंड साइड कवर करेंगे, ये वाला स्कोप ऑफ टोटल इनकम, रेसिडेंशियल एंड रेसिडेंट एंड ऑर्डिनरी का, रेसिडेंट बट नॉट इन ऑर्डिनरी का, नॉन रेसिडेंट। ओके, समझ आए? ये चार्ट में मैंने पूरा ओवरव्यू बताया है दोनों चैप्टर्स का। हाउ टू डिटरमाइन द रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस। For the purpose of income tax in India, the income tax laws in India classifies the taxable person as. There are income tax laws which classifies a person into 3 categories. Resident and ordinarily resident first, which is also called as resident. Only resident means resident and ordinarily resident. Second, resident but not an ordinarily resident. Bracket में देखो लिखा हुआ है RNOR. Okay. Third is non-resident, NR. The taxability differs. आप देखो, अभी आप बोलोगे मैम what is the difference? What is the difference between resident and ordinary? Resident but not an ordinary. Taxability, liability is different. To pay the liable to get a person to pay the tax, to ask him to pay the tax, or if I say the tax liability of each person will be different. The liability of resident and ordinarily resident from that of resident but not an ordinarily resident will be different. The tax liability of both the persons will be different. Maybe tax liability of resident and ordinary resident will be more than that of resident but not an ordinarily resident. Okay, the taxability differs for each of above categories of the taxpayers. सबकी categories में, तीनों categories में tax liability सबकी अलग अलग है, किसी की ज्यादा है तो किसी की कम है. Before we get into taxability, let us first understand how a taxpayer becomes a resident and non-resident. Let us understand that first. Now there are rules. This is section number 6. Which is this section? Section 6. You have to join the meeting again for 10 minutes because it is showing me less than 1 minute is left. Should I end it? We will join it again then. Okay, please join it again.